Guten Tag and bienvenidos. You are listening to another edition of Über Cinco, the podcast game show where we deep dive top fives. My name is Nathan Hennenfent, and I'll be your host for today, where our contestants will reveal and defend their top 5 ways to quit in glory. But don't worry, loyal listeners. This isn't our last episode, far from it. Since we are yet to achieve glory, we'll have to carry on. Our first big quitter today, receiving a gold watch for 60 years of dedicated service, is Mitch Brinkman. Welcome, Mitch. How's it going?
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I've made a career of it, and somehow I stayed at the same company for 60 years straight, which I think is also a very big accomplishment in today's economy. You know, I wasn't fired unceremoniously, and I had to, make it up by delivering DoorDash to people who didn't want to drive the 3 blocks to McDonald's. So
it's rare to have a millennial lifer. I don't think we're going to have those much in business anymore. So congrats to you.
Probably not. Thank you. Thank you very much. So.
I think one of my grandfathers was a 60-year man.
I'll
have to check with my mom on that, like from 17 to 77, I think.
I try to think of how aggravated I get like by year 1.5 at most places, and I don't understand how people can do it.
I had an ex-girlfriend of mine. Her grandfather joined the Navy at 17, retired at 47 with full pension, and just went on cruises. Just every month a cruise. Just
that's what you're supposed to do
for the next 30 years, right?
Yeah. So. And he knows what to do in case shit hits the fan.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that beautiful voice you're hearing over there is the man facing off against Mitch. It's Brian Ernst, who I intended to write a little humorous anecdote about, but I forgot.
Don't worry.
So
I got you covered.
Yeah, but Brian, any interesting events happening in your life recently?
Well, let's start with we are recording outside again, folks. And for those of you who are here, you can look outside and see that my lawn is in a bit of a state.
Oh, yeah.
I like to edge trim. I like to weed whack. I like to mow the lawn. Woke up this morning to see that my garage door was still open overnight. The lawnmower, my weed whacker, all my power tools, batteries, and chargers gone.
Oh, no.
Everything was taken, including Jenny's backpack that has all our volunteer teaching stuff in it.
Oh,
Jesus.
So woke up to that. That was really fun. But to bring it to a lighter note, how did the door stay open, you might ask?
Yeah.
Yesterday we were driving home from dinner, and I had a cough that led to a little bit too much coming out of my bottom. Mm-hmm. And coming home was an emergency. And got home, and as soon as I got into the garage, I'm like, I need to get into the house, take care of business.
Yep.
And garage door slipped my mind. So that is my penance for shitting my pants. I now have to buy $500 or more worth of power tools again.
Oh my God! This is your beautiful lime green Ryobi.
Just so in your face, obnoxious Ryobi green power tools, all gone.
Well, I think this is a call to our listeners. If you have any parents, maybe fathers, grandfathers, who are trying to get rid of some still good tools, call Brian. He might be in the market for them.
Yeah, I lost a lawnmower, a weed whacker, reciprocating saw, circular saw, all the batteries that went with them. Several trips to Home Depot, just whoosh, one night.
What was the last thing you built with your circular saw?
Oh, I actually fixed something in the garage. The wood had rotted out where the door closed and locked.
Ah.
So I used a reciprocating saw. I took out that section of wood and cut a 2x4, reinforced it, re-drilled out the hole, and I fixed the door.
Wow, Brian.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I also messed up with the reciprocating saw.
Yeah.
I was going with it, and I lost control, and then it went into the aluminum siding and made this giant jagged piece of metal stick out. So I went back to Home Depot and I bought the sander. I fixed that little bit.
And the sander's gone, I'm assuming?
Sander's good. That I left upstairs when I was doing my rehab project. So luckily, I still have the sander.
Thank God.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Well, that is a sad note to start the show off on.
It was, but it's...
I think in the next couple of days you'll be able to say thank you to Jake from State Farm.
I think I will be
for his great rate. One of my favorite things, our friend Jen, her mom just loves Jake from State Farm. She thinks he's the best actor in the world, which he's not. He's not that good. He's just a good-looking dude. That's all. So.
Hey, that goes a long way.
That's true. That's very true.
Maybe it would have deterred people from taking my power tools if I was standing out there good-looking in my khakis.
All right, well, everybody, please remember you can join in on the fun if you have a topic or a Fast Five or would like to donate to Brian's Power Tool Fund. Head on over to bizbear.biz and send it our way.
Oh, also, my Xbox was in there last night. So
and the 3 PS5s I was holding for Christmas too.
yeah, there was
one for each of the Uber Cinco boys.
And you bought those at full price,
Yes.
$800 each
On eBay, yeah. I paid eBay price. So I got to get reimbursed for eBay.
And I shouldn't have left my Tesla in there. You know, it's nice of you to keep it.
It's amazing that we fit 3 Teslas in a 2-car garage, but hey.
Also, my Brie Larson headshot that I had autographed last month. So if anyone can please,
you know how hard that's going to get again.
Donate.
So,
I know, yeah.
All right, if this is your first foray into the den, or if you need a friendly reminder, let's wake you out of hibernation with a quick rundown of the rules. Each player in the den has spent time with today's topic arranging their top 5 answers in order of importance. Those answers have been submitted to the host who will moderate the game, awarding points to the player with the most poignant answer.
Starting with their number 5 choice, we will move up the ranks until we reach each of their top answers. But if both contestants happen to have the same answer on their list, well, we have an Uber stare-down.
You will hear the official Uber Cinco siren, and both players must reveal their answer and what number they ranked their submission. An Uber stare-down is all or nothing, with one player earning 3 points. After all answers have been read, the host will reveal the final score.
As host, I'm entitled to a house rule. In the spirit of today's topic, whoever provides a better mic drop in the final round will be awarded bonus points.
Ooh.
And don't forget to stick around to the end for my Fast 5 send-off, where I will rattle off my definitive list of the top 5 buckets of all time.
Oh my.
That's right.
God, I love buckets. I love a good bucket. I really do.
We talked about buckets on our dollar store episode, how useful a good bucket is.
Yeah.
So, buckets.
Buckets.
I've got some pickle bucket content coming up for everyone here. So, yeah.
Content. We always need more content.
Yep.
All right, Brian, you slapped the game board of our pre-show Simpsons Monopoly game off the coffee table with the most ferocity, so you can go first. What is your number 5?
My number 5 is to write your 2 weeks notice, but on formal letterhead, scribed with ink in cursive in formal English.
Oh.
So this is to make sure that your boss will not be able to understand what you wrote. Because I came up with this one when I was thinking about the people I was working for at Jewel and how hard it would have been for them to read this letter. That would have been very fun for me. So I wrote an instance of how I think this letter would go.
Sure.
Wrong key.
Oops, there we go.
Dear sir or madam, it has been brought to my attention by myself that the work environment fostered under the managerial exploits of yourself and the senior staff have rendered my time at said establishment to near its completion. Let it be said, in a mere fortnight my time under the occupation of these walls shall cease to be. The last financial rendering that transfers bullion from your safe to mine may be carrier pigeoned to the address below post haste. Sincerely, Lord Brian, first of his name.
That is a power move.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a lot of fun, especially I get to work on my cursive, get a new skill.
On parchment with a quill, right? You're dipping.
I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
I made the paper out of old toilet paper. I filtered it out. Boom. And then I laid it all out to dry.
When you say old toilet paper, do you mean old or used? That's
old.
Oh, okay.
Toilet paper from the back of the cabinet, non-soiled. Tear it all up, put it in the little things, form the parchment on the little screen, and then you got to put it in the oven to bake it a little bit to make sure it gets all burn the edges a little bit like you found it in a message in a bottle, and then get to scribing.
I think that your old toilet paper would be better served just in the back of your car, it sounds like, maybe. Just on...
Were you looking at my car? I got a whole pack of Costco Charmin in there that I haven't brought in the house yet. And thank God I didn't, because it came in handy last night.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, I think also this way, I mean, are you going to hand it directly to your supervisor, or are you going to drop it in their little wooden box on their desk?
I was thinking about lighting a small campfire in the manager's office.
Okay.
So it's but it's contained. It's not going to hurt anybody. But it's just what traveler just passed through here?
Are you roasting pigeon during this campfire as well?
I feel like squirrel is more
that's a night,
apropos to the situation that we were setting up.
It'd be nice to have you deliver this while wearing a big hat with a plume in it. Is plume the word I'm looking for?
I think so. Feather.
so.
A feathered plume.
A feathered, yeah, that.
How about I'm wearing
A
said...
plumish feather.
I just passed the door wearing said cap as they're almost done reading the letter, but we never actually speak.
Yeah. And they're like, why aren't you in your work vest? Get in your work vest. And you're like, I'm doing a thing. I'm going to do a thing. Hold on.
Someone hasn't tendered to their mail.
What are the odds that you're asked to leave before the fortnight after doing this?
Do you think I would complain? I'm leaving anyway.
I mean, that's probably what you want.
That's usually what people want when
Yeah.
they put in their 2 weeks. They want it to be day of.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just like, ugh, unless it's an absolute emergency, you're going to do the 2 weeks thing just so in case you need a reference later on.
Right.
You're not burning that bridge.
What if you have a real, just one of those managers? Like, my name's Gerald. Brian, I love your letter. I do, but I need an email that I can forward on. Please rewrite it. Are you going to rewrite it, or are you just going to say, Gerald, I don't give a hoot?
Jerry, I mean, this has come time and time again.
Gerald?
Jerry, this has been a problem as we have seen throughout this that you don't know how to make a schedule. You don't know how to stick to said schedule.
Gerald.
And you don't know how to do anything, as we talked about in a previous Uber Cinco, where I had to quit Jewel because someone threw a milk crate at me. Jerry, you did nothing.
Gerald.
I'm not going to spoil anything more because we have 4 more we need to talk about, and I
Okay.
got plenty of details for you, bud.
Okay.
All right. Well, with that, Mitch, what's your counter? What is your number 5?
My number 5 is quitting a job, and while you quit it, you're given no notice prior. This is everyone's finding out in the moment. That's when you slowly strip off your uniform and you leave it in a trail as you leave the job. So a firefighter, you got a boot, you got one suspender, you got another suspender, you got some charred gloves, your axe is, there's just a trail. That could be fun.
It's good for a utility belt. I mean, a lot of extra pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're a police officer and you're walking off the job, which maybe more of them should, there's just things in your stead. A football player, maybe a quarterback who's just his offensive line is not blocking. He's like, fuck this. Lay the helmet down. Take off the black strip. Take off a wristband, other wristband, a sock, a shoe comes off. But I think my favorite though, because there are some jobs that just have more fanfare to them. A waiter at tchotchkes or flingers, you're gonna have a lot of pins to take off, leave in your wake. A guard at the Buckingham Palace. There's a lot of to do on that uniform that take off slowly as you leave a trail, and then you're just down to your boxers and an undershirt or something.
In all these instances, what is the very last item at the end of the trail?
I would think it's got to be the one item you put on every day, where that's the first. That's the first difference between a Saturday and a Monday when you're getting dressed. It's like, or also if you're like the guard at the palace, maybe the really stuffy coat, something that just really weighs you down. Also, I had down here a mascot. If you just quit in the middle of a parade, I think I would want to take the suit off first, and last thing is the head.
I was going to say, last thing's got to be the head.
Yeah.
What a power move.
Yeah.
Or I like the idea of a naked guy just walking around London with just the really tall furry hat on.
Better question yet is if you're...
You'd probably get some free pints out of that, right?
you gotta.
Especially if you keep in shape, too.
I picture you doing this in slow motion, dropping every single piece.
Yep.
What's your walkout music? What is the song that's playing as you're going slow motion, stripping every single piece of your material?
The Queen song, Princes of the Universe. I like that one.
I was thinking mine would be more lighthearted,
Princes of the Universe. I can't. I don't. That's not the melody. But although we don't have to pay for it, so that's good.
Our lack of musical talent comes in handy a lot.
I think I would do I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston.
I mean, and hopefully, if your job is outside, maybe there's a broken fire hydrant nearby. So when you're dancing through the water too, as you're going home. So
and then do a little flash dance homage at the end there.
Exactly. Also, if you're a beer guy, if Wally the beer guy ever quits, you just drink every single beer in your thing. You leave a trail of cans, your visor.
Yeah.
And then the holder, the beer holder, the beer.
Let him find it. Let him find it.
The beer platform. There's a beer holder.
I don't know what that thing is
What
called.
would you call it? A beer box?
I don't know.
A
tray.
A tray. A beer.
A sling trough.
A sling trough.
Sling
there we
trough.
go. Yeah, sling trough. I like
Sling trough. I'm writing that
There we
down. Sling
So
trough.
TM
it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love both of these. I would love to see both of these happen at some point in my lifetime, if not carrying them out myself. So it's going to be 3 points all around, and then we'll go back to Brian for number 4.
All right. Number 5, I gave my 2 weeks notice. Number 4, I'm going to do the opposite of the 2 weeks notice, the no notice. But to top it off, I'm going to leave with the petty things that I brought to the office. They're meaningless to me outside of the office. They didn't cost me a lot to bring, but I bought them, damn it, and they're coming home with me. This is me. I'll see how the office manages when I take the K-Cup organizer back home.
Oh.
And they just have K-Cups coffee all over the place. That's going to be a nightmare at the little coffee stand. That's not going to be good. This is really going to upset Nathan because there's hot chocolate and tea in there too. And it's going to mess you up. The 3-hole punch. Yeah. No documents getting in binders now. I bought that bad boy. Huh? Good luck with that one. And then what if I accidentally shred the paper? That's the only handwritten paper that has all the passwords to everything in the office.
Oh, that is cold.
Oops. Sorry. You didn't want to keep it on a locked spreadsheet. Well, I had the paper and now it's gone. Peace, baby. Walk backwards out of the office.
So you're just tearing ACLs and shooting people like in the knees and breaking elbows on the way out.
No,
not enough to kill, but just enough to maim and slow.
Wound and slow.
Yeah.
If there happened to be a pack of wolves behind me, not my problem.
That's true.
I mean, fend for yourself.
Yeah.
Good luck.
You brought a pack of wolves to the office.
Well, he bought those for the office. Yeah. They didn't buy the pack of
Those were
wolves.
office wolves.
Yeah.
But you don't have office wolves.
I'm not a lumberjack, so.
Well,
if they had just kept away from Brian's lunch, he wouldn't have brought wolves to the office to protect his food.
No, I protected my food. I befriended the wolf. They added me as part of their pack. I learned it. I took care of their cubs. And now I started to pet them, live with them, groom them. And now when I needed them most, they came to the office and attacked the wounded, non-organized, 3-hole punched office managers.
You went from the mundane 3-hole punch to wolves attacking and raising Brian from
Didn't cost me anything. I also didn't have to take them with me, but damn it, I brought them there.
Right. Well, that was a journey, Mitch. Mitch, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is leaving when your side hustle becomes a full fledgling business.
Lovely.
This feels good, right? Maybe you're doing candles now. You know?
Sure.
Serenity by Jan.
Yeah. Old beer at Comiskey.
Ooh.
That's a nice scent. 3 sausages with some onions. I like that one, right?
Does it smell like old beer, or does it smell like melted down old style signs that they've had to take down from every bar around Chicago?
Either way, that would be a stubby candle. You don't want that to be a long burn for sure. So yeah, whatever those scents are, you've finally done it. You maybe rent a little space. You're no longer shipping candles out of your second bedroom. This is good. Maybe you're a dog owner coach. You're coaching dog owners on how to be better dog owners. Like how to care for their pup more, how to love them more, how to make them treats, how to look down on other dog owners who don't let their dogs be dogs. That kind of thing.
You've owned a dog for 8 months now, and this is you're speaking about what you want to do.
It's changed your entire identity.
I just found a place to put my love. That's what's happened.
Sure, Danny would love to hear that.
My extra
Finally.
love. My extra
Finally,
love.
after all these years.
Yeah. Or maybe you open like a competent male escort service, this business it's thriving and it's going to be.
Are there a lot of incompetent ones floating around?
Have you guys ever, do you know what a competent male escort service is?
No.
Oh, they're escorts, and it's not just about the sex. It's really not about that. It's about like they always know where they're going. They always bring extra supplies if need be. They can fix a door jam. They can, paint a wall. They can, they'll listen. They can provide good advice. And then, a nice dicking as well. But they do everything else. Some might call it a boyfriend service. I call it competent male escorts. So, and there is a market.
Are they gigolo/handyman or handyman/gigolo?
They're first a friend, second a father, third a gigolo. So.
All right, I guess that's why they're yelling daddy all the time.
I didn't want to have to say it, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, over there.
You're doing my marketing for me. So, yeah.
When you guys sent both your list to me before the show, both of your number 4s, I did not think we would end where we ended.
And just to come up with a business idea for a competent male escort service, I'm gonna go Chuck's talent pile. That's the one I'm gonna go with. So. Yeah,
well, I can see the sign now.
Yeah. CTP International, we're going to franchise. You can open your own competent male escort service in any part of the world just by contacting CTP International here in Chicago.
A franchising pimp. Genius.
Well, Brian, I'm giving you 2 points for that round, and Mitch, you were only going to get 2 points until you came up with Chuck's talent pile. That's going to bump you up to the 3. I can't ignore that. So, Brian, it's back to you for number 3.
Number 3. This is where you get to make your grand speech that you're going to be gone but never forgotten. But you didn't tell them that you placed a bunch of sushi in the drop ceiling panels. Now you know the next few weeks are going to be interesting. So you load up all this raw fish in all strategic areas of the panels. Real easy to do when everyone's out of the office. Just a little slide of the panel, throw up a tray of sushi, bow it down, move it down. Now you're doing this above the boss's office. You're doing this near the AC. Mm-hmm. You need to make sure this thing circulates. Mm-hmm. And then you got to pick strategically the stuff that takes a while to degrade.
Oh, sure.
So once they think they found it, a week later it hits them again.
There's more.
There's more. There's so much. They're going to think there's a dead raccoon in the walls.
Oh, God.
It's going to get so bad.
Why not just put a dead raccoon in the walls?
You can.
Oh, you can.
If you put a live raccoon in the wall, this extends the period even longer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so when that thing dies, boom, keep going.
That's gross.
Something happened to this. We did something similar to this in high school once. Where in freshman year biology, we got to dissect squid that were like soaked in formaldehyde. It was trying to like find the ink sac and the gonads and all that stuff. And then the whole thing was like, get to the ink sac and then you can write your name, blah, blah, blah. Well, our group, we took our carcass, rolled it up in paper towels.
You bad boy.
And then we just picked a drawer along the wall and just put it in there. We waited until the end of the trimester, because I think we had 3 there.
Yeah.
8 weeks, easily, before we opened this thing again. Guy in my group, he opened it, not even an inch, closed it right away, and it took over the entire room. The stench of this thing.
Oh,
so now imagine trays of sushi, what this thing will do to an office to make sure that you leave your mark.
Oh, and in this office, I'm guessing you've just hated everyone there, and that's why you're going to do this.
Yeah, they're all dicks. I mean, I was the winner.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they didn't deserve me.
How are you gonna pay off the night watchman so you can go in and do this?
Oh, you think
all the sushi?
You think they have just? I work late all the time. They're used to me being there late.
Oh, they do. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You're putting in the extra work. You're the best one in the office.
I'm finally working overtime off the clock to make sure that this quitting goes off without a hitch. They got the most hours out of me the week leading up to my quitting. Yes.
This is pure evil, and I'm enjoying it.
Oh man, I'm glad you didn't work in my office.
Mitch, what do you got? What's your number 3?
Mine is much more simple, and it is more about the sense of adventure. You know, it's like a modern day stumble bum or a hobo who used to ride the rails during the Depression. This is kind of what that is, and that is when you're a young person, maybe you're in high school or early college, and you know those jobs they used to advertise on Craigslist or whatever, and it'd be like, hey, come work for the Red Bull marketing street team, you know, or like, come down to Sergeant Chuck's and market for our restaurant out on the street team. And you're like, oh God, you have to go to those fairs or whatever and just do that kind of hitting the pavement work. And this comes from when I worked at an ice cream shop. One of the teenagers that worked there literally quit in the middle of his shift. He went out to have a cigarette with his friends. Underage, he was 16.
Oh my god!
And I was like, I was like, hey, Colin, like you gotta come back. And he just goes, nah, and flicked the cigarette and walked off with his friends. And I was like, wow.
That was so cool.
I had so much respect for him. I was like, that is a real fucking gonad full bad boy right there. And so this one is you're on the street team. You're out. It's like 90 degrees. It's humid. It's hot. It's a summer day in Minnesota. And you're out trying to convince people to like give the new Red Bull Tangerine a try, you know?
Give her a try.
And then the city bus pulls up and you just like, you know what? And you just get on the city bus. And your other street team members are like, hey, Colin, come back here, buddy. You're just like, see you later. You don't care where the bus is going. You get on because it's AC'd and it's getting you away from having to get people to try Red Bull, new infusions, whatever bullshit you're trying to push. So
this is one where I'd love to see the bus like all of a sudden stall, and then you have to just stand on the other side of the window looking at everybody. Trying to continue holding the cool pose for like 3 minutes.
Oh, you're just holding that, just holding the bar, and and hopefully the street team marketing manager or team lead isn't some like militant dickbag named like Brody or something like that who's like will come onto the bus and drag you back out. But I always thought of it just getting on a train, getting on a bus, and just sailing away, Or not sailing, because it's not a boat, but
what if you worked at a little like tourist shop though that was like near a dock, and then you just get on a boat and just fucking wave. That's the ultimate power move.
That would be wonderful.
Then if it sank, it would be really funny, like Nathan's point. Immediately go just down.
But just that, it's like it's that job where you're like, you know what? I don't need this, and you just bye-bye.
Genius.
Float away.
Genius.
Yep.
All right. Well, Brian, you sealed 3 points with the whole actually working overtime without pay to pull this off, and this is a truly evil plan, and I can't score less than that. And Mitch, it's a great one, but the street teams have to have such high turnover. So I imagine this is actually happening right now somewhere. I think it's a very common thing. So so I'm going to give you 2 points for that. And then
like if you're running a street team and they're like, we need 4 people for today's job, you just hire 7 because you assume 3 won't show up.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Brian, what's your number 2?
I'm similar to Colin here. My number 2 is just stop going. But this isn't in the middle of the shift. You just don't go one day.
Yeah.
And this is for a salaried position. You just see how long it takes before they realize you're not working there anymore. You just turn off your emails, or you set an automatic email. Oh, I just thought of this. On the Monday, you decide you're not going in.
Yeah.
You just set an automatic email to go out on Friday. Just, sorry, I've been under it. I'll get to all this next week. That goes out on Friday after you've already been not working for a week. Mm-hmm. And you let it go at least another week. Man, you can set these for every Friday if you want to see how long this game will go. And then you just wait. Your direct deposits are still gonna keep going through. I mean, true. Just see what happens. I want one of our listeners to try this. Let us know how it goes.
Give it a shot.
Document it on TikTok or whatever the kids do nowadays, and become viral off of our idea.
I mean, if any of our listeners try any of these ideas, please give us a
Please
follow-up,
let us know.
and we will have you on the show to tell your story personally. It would be an honor. So please do keep that in mind.
We will fly you in from anywhere in a 30-mile radius.
Next time you're having a rough Monday morning, take a look at re-listen to this episode. If you get inspired, follow through with it, and then we'll bring you on.
But the higher up you are, the longer this ruse will go.
Oh yeah.
So the longer your money will collect. If you're somebody who's in charge of a team, like the team's gonna love that you're not giving them things to do.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're not gonna complain. Like, man, I haven't heard anything. Blah blah blah. You still get that one squeaky wheel. It's like, I'm out of work, and then you're like, fuck that guy. But you just
That's Gerald for sure.
Gerald and Colin.
Yeah.
It's always a Jerry and a Colin. And then you just kind of like, all right, they're not going to ask for work. Your higher ups like, I don't want to deal with the stuff that you're doing because that's why we hired you. So no news is good news. I'm going to assume you're going to keep everything going smoothly. And then some big shit's going to hit the fan. And everyone's going to be like, I think you got to change your number after this, though, too. Just completely go dark.
Yeah.
But keep waking up every other Friday just to see how many of those DPs keep coming through.
What are you going to tell your emergency contact? Are you going to bring them in on this? Or are you going to let chaos ensue when now your loved one thinks you might be dead for a while?
Change your emergency contact with HR a month before you decide to do this.
To whom?
To the payphone down the block. Write down Jerry, and it's a payphone number, and we'll say like,
his contact is Jerry McDouche. I should have caught that. That doesn't sound real.
That's my mistake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was
That person gets fired.
take someone down with you.
Crumbles. Oh, then I would feel real bad.
What are you doing at home this whole time?
What am I not doing? Watching movies, going on vacation.
You could be working another salaried position, and you could potentially this could become sort of a Ponzi scheme of one salaried position to another.
I always accept a new offer before my current one's over, run out the clock, and I'm always overlapping.
Oh, so you're stealing like 1 or 2 paychecks from every job. Oh my God. Yeah.
I am a serial salarist.
That's that is pretty brilliant.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll give that to myself.
Okay. This is for real though for you, Brian. I know this. Could you ever actually pull that off?
Of course not.
Okay.
I know my limits.
I admire the honesty.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Mitch, fire away with your number 2.
My number 2 is the Jumbotron Dignity Salvage.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
It's a named one, folks.
Yep. You're at a local sports arena watching, the big game, and you and your partner are up on the Jumbotron all of a sudden, and you go to your pocket and you take out a beautiful engagement symbol. You offer it to them, and they say no. Mm-hmm. What do? You immediately say, I quit this. I break up with you. You have to do it fast and furious. You have to get to it first. So you're the one who broke up with them. You're quitting first. And then you love the sports. So you say, get on. Get out of here. I'm staying for the sports game here. I'm the one who's going to do the sport. I love watching the sport. The number one player on my sports team, they're my favorite athlete. So you got to get going. Get out of here.
Are you describing me at a sports game? It sounds like about as much information I would know at any sporting event.
Just like the faster you quit them, the more dignity you salvage, and you're sad because your body's going to be sad and little and just like you're just going to have a sad little. You're going to be like kind of slumping in your chair. So the more dignity you can harvest from the situation, the better. And so. If they say no to you, but then you're on the Jumbotron, and I'm gonna guess half the arena is gonna think that it's a fake proposal because they do those now,
Yeah.
But you are gonna be on the screen and you're gonna be like, move your freaking keister, asshole, former loving partner, get out. Like
this is my ex.
Yeah. And then so you literally if they're not moving, you literally pick just push them out of the shot, and then you go back to the Jumbotron, and then you give them a big flex, a double bicep flex. You're the strongest one there.
Bury the pain.
You're Teflon. Just the pain just bounces right off you. Then you sit back down. You order a beer from the sling trough.
From the sling trough.
You get 2 of them. You chug one and you keep one to enjoy. You get a big old popcorn and you finish the sports match. So
I admire the courage that would be involved to stick it out after this because I certainly wouldn't have it in me.
Yeah. No, but the thing is though, you're done with them, so they have to leave. You know, and also you brought them to the sports. Engagement. So
you brought them to the sports.
So yeah,
the athletic contest of your choice.
Exactly.
Not the Olympics. You couldn't bring them to the Olympics. This would not work.
No, couldn't bring them to the Olympics. Yeah. Whether it's, like a fast sport or a slower sport, like a ball sport or a racket sport or a running sport, just whatever kind of
sport. The more
you want.
international the sport, the more viewers will have seen said act.
That's true. Yeah. Although they don't give people time on the Jumbotrons, not at like basketball. Ooh, I said it. Oh, basketball.
You named a sport.
It's a sport.
Oh, the whole bit's falling apart.
Oh, shoot. But it should be an American sport because those that they love to give time.
Are there any
to
others?
Jumbotrons. In my mind, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. No, there aren't. So
America.
That's my number 2. So they reject you. You reject them back faster, harder, stronger. So.
Faster, harder.
I'm gonna score this out, and Brian, it's another genius and evil plan, but I just, since you're not present for it, you don't get to just relish in the glory. So I can only you didn't give me the glory, so I'm only giving you 1 point.
You don't get the glory, but you get the cash.
And then Mitch, this is like I said, I love the courage involved here, but I wanted to see you take it one step further and bring a cheating. Somebody, you find out they're cheating and they come in, and then instead of, you get down on one knee and there's nothing in the thing, and you're like, oh, I know you're cheating on me in front of everybody. And leave. So I'm gonna give you 2 points for. I would have liked to just see you twist the knife a little further.
It's an obnoxious arrow on a spring that says cheater. her.
I was gonna say, I feel like the partner would be like, why is he presenting me this cheese balls can? Snakes.
Now that's a good bit.
That's a good bit.
All right. Well, there's nothing left to do except for the final entrance on our list. So, Brian, what was your number 1 way to quit in glory?
My number 1 way to quit in glory is the get it off your chest. You get to say what you want about who you want to their faces as you march out the door.
Oh. Is this with security holding on to the back of your elbow, or are you free to move?
No, security's on your side.
Okay.
They're letting you move. They're letting you get finger in the face.
Okay.
Let me demonstrate. And you know what, Carol? Fuck you. No one likes your team building. Let's make work a family bullshit. Dave, on your motorcycle, you piece of shit. I'm glad you got demoted. You should actually be in jail for what you did, you embezzling scum. And Frank, fuck you, Frank. I have never wanted anyone to get hit by a truck more than you. And I'm sure the day will come because anyone that eats that much tilapia a week should burn in hell. We had to get 2 microwaves because of your bottom-feeding ass. And finally, Mr. Wallace. Suck my taint, fucker, and see you in hell. Thanks for that 40-cent raise an hour last year. That really solidified my membership to the club. And not your white-ass fuck golf and tennis shit. I'm talking Sam's. I can't even go to Sam's Club on this fucking salary. Eat shit, suck Carol's balls, and fuck each and every one of you. I'm out of here. Peace. So that's my number 1.
Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna just turn it straight over to Mitch. Mitch,
Yeah. Oh my God.
you gotta top that.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
This one is all about making other people's lives better. That's what this is about.
Boo!
Yeah, I know. So this is what happens. This is after you've won the lottery. You're not telling anyone, okay? You take a month, you get a P.O. box, you get an accountant, you get a lawyer, you do all those things to set up your privacy for your lotto cash,
Got it.
But during that time, at offices, you always, in an office maybe with a bit of a, sense of ennui, people always had that conversation where they're like, what if I won the lottery?
Right.
What would I do?
What if?
You know what I would do? I would pay off, first they're like, I'm going to pay off all my student loans, and then I'm going to pay off all my relatives' loans and their houses. And you're like, okay, yeah. But like, what do you really want to do? And then, then you get sad because your coworkers are like, well, I would just go on vacation. And you're like, that's your big idea? Just go on a vacation? What's the insane thing you do? I don't know. Well, I'd go to a steakhouse every night. You're like, what? No, come on. So I would force them all to give me just the top of the mountain ideas, just the most insane shit possible. And I'm winning a freaking loot. I'm getting $900 million after taxes. This is history's largest lotto cash windfall.
Mm-hmm.
And about a month up to this, I'm going around to everyone's desk. I'm perching on the edge, chatting them up. Everyone's getting to love me. We're having these fun conversations. I become the office #1 guy. Everyone's just like, Mitch is such a nice guy, such a good guy. I love him so much. I'd buy him a beer. I'll go get his coffee for him. I love him that much. And then when you finally quit, you're like, hey, guess what? Carol, here's a letter. Teresa, here's a letter. Jim, I got a letter for you. Each letter describes the amazing gifts that are coming their way. Jim finally gets his motorcycle with a barbecue on the back. Room enough for the family to sit there with them. Teresa, she's getting that mountain house with a water slide that goes all the way down to a giant heated pool. Whatever their craziest dreams are. But you know what though? Rick, he ain't getting fucking shit. Rick is a goddamn dick, through and through. There's no other way to slice this fucking turkey open without dick just coming out, Everyone knows a Rick. He comes in, hey, who caught CSI and King of Queens last night? Like, nobody, Rick. Shut the fuck up. You're like, hey, is anyone else buying the brand new F-150 again this year? Anyone? No, Rick, no, just go away, Rick, please. And then Rick always gets too drunk. He always tries to hit on people. He always tries to get people to break their marital vows. And then the next day, he's like, it was all just a fucking joke. Just fucking relax, relax. You're like, Rick, you cornered a woman for 45 minutes last night. You fucking prick.
Relax.
Oh, relax. And then Rick is the one that'll come by your desk and be like, oh, hey, I saw you got here at 9:03 this morning. Don't think I don't notice, and then walks away. And you're like, Rick, you fucking prick. Rick the prick. So, you know what? Teresa, your golden boat with room for all your dogs and a champagne shower is coming your way. But Rick, you're getting a big old box of dog shit. So
at the bottom of that dog shit is new truck nuts for the back of the F-150.
And he'll probably just lick the shit off and go, oh, fuck yeah, truck nuts, oh yeah. But yeah, no, but for me personally, what I'm going to do with all that lotto cash, I'm first off, I'm getting a house that's connected to the side of a cliff that looks over the ocean. Yeah. There's going to be a rope that brings me right down to the sea, and I'll just go and I'll be friends with the sharks. So
way to end it fast.
Yeah, there it is.
Cool.
So if you'll remember, I did say for the biggest mic drop, so the better #1, there would be a bonus point.
Yep.
So I gave Brian 3 points because that is just an absolute classic. I would love to see that. That is a glorious moment. But then we know I love the long con. And Mitch is destroying souls and building people up all at once. So you're going to get 4 points for the round. And if my math is correct, that leaves Brian with 12 points, and Mitch is the victor with 14 points. Well done.
Bull roar.
Oh, my God.
This game's a sham, and anyone who listens is a tool.
I want to thank Rick for making me work harder to make his life worse.
And neither of you both get a pat on the back for neither of you storming off and trying to quit in glory during the middle of the show. I appreciate that one, and I'm going to give myself a point for that. All right, well that leaves us just with my fast five of the top 5 buckets of all time.
Woo!
Number 5, the KFC bucket.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Eating out of a bucket. Talk about class. You're a human being, not a 6-week-old calf. Have some self-respect. Number 4, Buckethead. This mysterious guitar virtuoso took the KFC bucket and wore it on his head.
Oh.
So in 2007, I paid $15 whole to go to a Buckethead show. 2 guys behind me were there because the tickets were so cheap, and they said they'd never heard of him. Then one guy said to the other, with great sincerity, Buckethead must be some kind of marketing genius. Because he remains anonymous and he wears this bucket on his head. He called a guy he had heard of 2 hours ago a marketing genius. Still one of the dumbest things I have ever heard. And I so regret not turning around and slapping the stupid out of the dude's mouth. 14 years later, I've never forgotten that. All right, number 3, the bucket hat.
Oh.
It comes in and out of fashion. LL Cool J, Rihanna, Justin Bieber, among others, have all sported this durable piece of headgear that originated in Ireland in the early 20th century to protect fishermen's heads from rain. As great as Kylie Jenner looks in one, it will never top Gilligan from Gilligan's Island or your grandpa with a bunch of fishing lures dangling from the sides. Oh, yeah. Classic. Number 2, the bucket seat.
Oh,
yes.
Which is on the next page. Are you old enough to have been carted around in a minivan with a bench in the center in the back of the vehicle?
Yeah.
Did you have to sit crammed with a sibling on either side jostling for elbow room for the entire 14-hour ride to Disney World? What a day it was when you could finally climb in the back and have your own elbow rest, leg room, and adjustable back. The life of luxury indeed.
Oh,
and number 1...
I love vans.
Number 1, the greatest bucket of all time, Mr. Bucket.
Continue.
You guys remember Mr. Bucket?
No, continue.
Mr. Bucket, buckets of fun. This popular children's game from the 1990s had this actual tagline in its commercial.
The game's Mr. Bucket. The first to get their balls into Mr. Bucket wins, but look out, because the balls will pop out of his mouth.
Was there simply no quality control team on duty that day, or did the folks at Milton Bradley simply have a sick and twisted sense of humor? Ah, the mysteries of life. And that's this week's edition of Über Cinco. Cracking open a beer 5 minutes before he clocks out has been
Mitch Brinkman.
And activating the inflatable water landing slide from the plane and jumping out while still on the run rate is
Brian Ernst.
And I've been the man who hits the game-winning jumper against the Utah Jazz in 1998 in my dreams every single night, Nathan Hennenfent. And to all you would-be quitters out there, as BizBear or perhaps John Le Carre says, a desk is a dangerous place from which to view the world. Auf Wiedersehen and adios.
Mr. Bucket!
That's right, I'm Mr. Bucket. I'm Mr. Bucket. Toss your balls in my top, I'm Mr. Bucket. Out of my mouth I will pop, I'm Mr. Bucket. We're all gonna run, I'm Mr. Bucket. The game's Mr. Bucket. The first to get their balls into Mr. Bucket wins, but look out, because the balls will pop out of his mouth. I'm Mr. Bucket. The balls pop out of my mouth, I'm Mr. Bucket. A ball is what I'm about, I'm Mr. Bucket. We're all gonna run, I'm Mr. Bucket. Mr. Bucket from Milton Bradley.
You've just listened to Über Cinco, a production of UBK Studios. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your fine podcasts from.
If you like what you hear and want to support the show, please visit our Patreon site at patreon.com/UBK Studios. Every little bit helps us keep the lights on and the bill collectors at bay.
Keep tabs on us on all the social media at UBK Studios, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see that we really are just a bunch of good Midwestern boys.